The Koenig video has been probably the most requested video after the story of Alpina, which by the way I have started working on, and the video would come soon. From all the tuners of the 80s, Koenig is probably the most unique and memorable one. With combining power with some of the craziest body kits the world has ever seen from established tuners, Koenig has brought to us some of the greatest tuned cars out there. Originally I would make one video, but because Ferraris make half of the Koenig portfolio, I would talk about them first, and the next week I'm going to make a video about all the other brands. So guys, welcome back to another Crazy Tuners video, and here are the crazy creations of Koenig Special. Born in February 2nd, 1938, Willie Connick made most of his money from publishing different magazines, probably some car-related magazines, but not much is known about Willie's youth. After he made some money, Willie started racing different cars all over Europe. According to RacingSportsCars.com, Willie had his first race in 1959, when he was only 21 years old, with an Alfa Romeo Giulietta Spider. He continued racing in the early 60s with the Auto Union 1000 and an Abarth 700. In 1962 he started racing with a Ferrari 250 GT, when he became quite successful. Thanks to this success, Enzo Ferrari invited him to an event in Maranello. Willie continued racing with a number of different cars, including here Abarth 1000, Volvo 122, Ferrari 275 GTB, Ford GT40 and Lola T70. He continued racing until 1969, when he left the racing world for the tuning one. But he would return again, this time with racing his own cars, like you are going to see later on. In 1974, Koenig received the first 365 BB in Germany, but he wasn't very happy with the car. He didn't like the difference between the racing and the road cars. So he went and applied all the racing modification to his own 365. An open exhaust, multi-side clutch, larger brakes and wider tires. Koenig started showing his car in different Ferrari and car meetings, when his ridiculous 365 got tons of attention. Willie started getting requests for similar Ferraris. So in 1977 he founded Koenig Ferrari. Willie used Koenig instead of Koenig because of a Ferrari dealership, which used the same name, but also because it was easier to pronounce the name Koenig. He had to remove the Ferrari part from the name because Enzo Ferrari wasn't happy with that. So the name was changed to Koenig Specials. The first car offered by Willie was the Koenig Ferrari 512 BBI twin turbo. Koenig offered three options for this car, a 400 horsepower and a 450 horsepower. But if you wanted more, the twin turbo 512 was the answer for you. Like the name suggests, this 512 was equipped with a pair of turbos, which increased the power from 360 horsepower to 650 horsepower. Thanks to this additional power, the twin turbo could reach a top speed of 330 km per hour and could reach 100 in 4 seconds. Even today this speed is mind-blowing, let alone for 1981. And of course the crazy ultra-wide body kits were part of the car. Koenig is considered a tuner that started the wide body kit trend, but it's hard to say that, because most of the tuners came around this time. Originally the Koenig body kits were designed by Vittorio Strosek, which later on would leave Koenig to create his own tuning shop, when he would build body kits for Porsches. Anyway, the 512 twin turbo was equipped with a new front and rear bumper, wider wheel arches, a giant rear spoiler, and much wider tires. Also, the twin-turbo version came with additional air intakes for the turbos. The interior wasn't that special for 80s tuner standard. Yeah, of course the car was re-leathered, but nothing crazy like TV and things like that, like Gambalas for example. The base price for this conversion was 130,000 Deutschmarks, but the price increased with additional options. In 1983 came the Koenig 308 wide-body turbo. This car wasn't as popular as the other cars, so sorry guys, but I don't have much information about it. The 308 was followed by the 328, but like with the 308 I couldn't find much information about this car also. Some sources say that also some F40s were built, but I highly doubt that, because zero information exists, we have no pictures at all, plus the most important thing, the F40 was already a twin turbo. The Testarossa is the definitive car of the 80s, mainly because of the Miami Vice and the popularity of the car among drug dealers. But the Redhead wasn't a very popular car among tuners. Besides the convertible conversions, not many tuned Testarossas were built. But the Koenig Testarossa is enough. The first Koenig Testarossa was presented in 1985 under the name Koenig Twin Turbo, which of course was packed with a pair of turbos, which increased the power from 390 horsepower to 710 horsepower. Thanks to this crazy power, the twin turbo had a top speed of 330 km per hour and could accelerate from 0 to 100 in 3.9 seconds. The twin turbo was followed by the twin turbo Evolution, which had 1000 horsepower. This beast of the car had a top speed of 370 km per hour, could reach 100 in 3.5 seconds and 200 in 10 seconds. After the Evolution came the Competition, and after that the Competition Evolution. Koenig also built a 512TR and a 512M, but these cars had less power. The Koenig Testarossa came with different body kits. Some had normal Testarossa bodies, some were convertibles, some had side strips, but most of them didn't, and of course the ones that looked like the F40s. But in this direction, Lotec did a much better job with a Lotec TT1000, but that's a story for another time. The Koenig Competition costed almost $600,000 back then, which is the equivalent of $1 million with today's money. Differently from the other tuners, Koenig made it into the 90s, and the Koenig F48 was one of their first creations for the new decade. The F48 was a 540 horsepower monster, based on a 348. The body kit continued to mimic the F40 body, but this time in a much better way, probably because of the pop-up headlights, which are way more similar to the F40 pop-up headlights compared to the Testarossa. The F40 body style continued with the Koenig F355. The twin-turbo 3.5-liter V8 this time produced 600 horsepower. The F50 is one of my favorite cars of all time, but Koenig version is just something from another world. The Koenig F50 had received some cosmetic changes, like some new carbon fiber parts, but nothing crazy. In fact, you can barely notice them. But the best way to tell if a F50 is a Koenig Special is by the new rear air intakes for the turbos. Like all the other Koenigs, the F50 also was a twin turbo, now with 250 horsepower more compared to the normal F50. The Koenig version could reach a top speed of 370 km per hour and could hit 100 in 3 seconds. Judging by the pictures, two Koenigs F50 were built, but I'm not sure about that. After that came the Koenig 550 Maranello. Besides the wide wheel and the crazy spoiler, the car had received, like the name on the rear suggests, a set of turbos, which helped the 5.5-liter V12 to produce 790 horsepower. 2 years later came the Koenig 360 Modena, and how this car could have been any different. The Koenig 360 also was a twin turbo, with 200 horsepower more compared to the regular 360. Judging from their website, Koenig is still around, but now makes exhaust systems and sells different parts. Koenig Ferraris are not extremely rare. I'm not saying that they are popular, but they are not hard to find. They tend to pop up for sale in Germany, Netherlands and UK, but the best place to find and buy a Koenig Ferrari is Japan. Like with most of the rare European cars, most of them have ended up in Japan. And I think this is a good thing because Japanese tend to keep this type of cars in great condition, especially this type of cars that are collecting dust in the rest of the world. The price for a used Koenig depends. Sometimes they sell for more, sometimes they sell for less, but they tend to sell something around the price of a stock Ferrari. This is something very common with the 80s tuned cars, and a good example for this are the two Gambalas that were sold at the last RM auction in London. Only a small group of people really appreciate these cars, and I'm one of them. If I would have the money, I totally would have bought one. So guys, thank you for watching. See you next time, when I'm going to talk about Porsches, Mercedes, BMWs and Jaguars.